much more valuable than anything you can obtain in the dunya. Then he says, ثُمَّ الْإِذْلَالِ لِنَفْسِكَ دَعِي بِتَمْعِي لَا بِمَحَلَّ تَمْعِي. He says, then humiliation to yourself is placed on it by its abandonment. Meaning that if you abandon seeking knowledge, if you abandon the path, or you never take the path, you never seek to study knowledge, then you're in actuality, you're humiliating yourself. Because you're not giving yourself the opportunity. You're not giving yourself a fighting chance on the day of judgment to obtain the highest position with Allah that you possibly can. So why wouldn't the Muslim have the attitude where he's going to do what he can, do what she can to seek the knowledge? Those individuals who have the attitude or the position that, oh, it's not for me, I don't want to be a scholar, or how much do I have to know, or I'm content with what I know. This person, in the end, you're going to be, where are you going to go with that? You're going to be humiliated. So it's incumbent, it's very, very, very important that every individual know what he or she is obligatory to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can only do that by seeking knowledge. The Shaykh goes on and he says, وَتَحْدَرِزْ مِنْ مُوجِبٍ مُذَلَّةٍ لِلْعِلْمِ أَوْ لِأَهْلِهِ الْأَجِلَّةِ وَاقْتَسِي مِنْ تَوَادُعٍ بِهُلَّةٍ وَهُوَ بَيْنَ الْكِبْرِ وَالْمُذَلَّةِ. He says, in the word of caution, to have humility toward knowledge or the dignified people of knowledge, and decline toward humility in its place. And it is between arrogance and debasement. So here he's talking about, he's giving us a word of caution, that to be humble toward the knowledge, to be humble toward the fact that when we learn knowledge, in essence, what we're learning is how much we don't know. That we can never, with our limited intellect and our limited intellectual capability, we can never exhaust the vast ocean of knowledge. So we have to humble ourselves toward knowledge. We submit to the knowledge. And by doing that, we're humble toward the people of knowledge. We honor the people of knowledge because Allah honors them. All of Allah's creation honors people of knowledge. So by linking and connecting ourselves with knowledge and being humble toward it, and being humble toward those who possess it, we are in essence honoring ourselves. We are in essence, because by doing this, we gain the honor, the pleasure of Allah. Allah raises us in rank and darajat. And by that, all of Allah's creation will honor us. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And so he says in the next line, كَذَلِكَ الْإِفَّةُ بَيْنَ الذَّيْنِ وَاسِطَةٌ أَبْهَى مِنَ الْلِجَيْنِ. He says, like integrity is between two things, a medium of goodness from silver. In other words, he says beforehand, وَهُوَ بَيْنَ الْكِبْرِ وَالْمُذَلَّةِ, that humility is between arrogance and debasement. Being humble is not debasing yourself, where you're dishonoring yourself, or others would debase or defile you. No. It's between being arrogant at the high and debasement at the low. We seek the middle ground. We don't think too highly of ourselves, nor do we think too low of ourselves. We don't see ourselves as great. We don't see ourselves as something that deserves honor. Okay? One of the du'as that we should really understand the meaning of is A'udhu billahi an akuna bi nafsi aziman wa inda Allahi saghira. that I seek knowledge, I seek refuge in Allah. I seek refuge in Allah from being great in my own eyes and being insignificant with Allah. Because the student of knowledge is easy for him or her to see themselves as something great in their own eyes. When they look in the mirror, as they learn, they gain knowledge, they feel good about themselves. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're insignificant because of the arrogance that is allowed to creep inside the heart. The arrogance is what will debase you. You raising yourself up and raising yourself up, you can only debase yourself. Only Allah can raise you up through knowledge. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do that. So by seeking the knowledge, we give ourselves the opportunity by the mercy of Allah to raise us in darajah. But we don't do it ourselves. Okay, that should be understood. He says, كَذَلِكَ الْإِفَّةُ بَيْنَ ذَيْنِ وَسِيطَةٌ أَبْهَى مِنَ اللَّجَيْنِ. That, like this, integrity is between two things. Just as humility is between arrogance and debasement, that integrity, iffa is between two things. It's between goodness, it's the medium of goodness and silver. Meaning that having integrity is between something that's a medium standard, medium goodness, and something that is silver, that is highly valued. All right, so you're not, it's in the middle. You're not too high, but you're not in the middle. You're somewhere between the two. You're somewhere between the two. So the Muslim, in other words, we're always seeking the middle ground. Okay, we're not extreme in anything that we do. Okay, we're not extreme in the madhab that we are part of or that we're studying. We're not extreme in the madhab in our aqidah or in our tariqah. We're not extreme in anything toward other people. We find that middle ground because we don't, the point is not to see yourself. The point is to see only the face, only to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't seek the creation, seek the creator. Then he says, إِنَّ تَوَادُعَ خِصَالُ الْمُتَّقِي مِنْهَا كَمَا قَالَ الْأَدِيبُ الْمُرْتَقِي. He says, indeed, humility is a characteristic of the one who has taqwa. As the most advanced scholar said, أمر بالأمام أمائم العظام الحن في وسعة أكمام كي لا يحان علم بين الناس إذ نظر الناس إلى اللباس. He said that humility is a characteristic of the one who has taqwa. So having tawada, being humble is the characteristic of the one who has knowledge, in other words. The one who is on a path of learning, is on a path of seeking Allah, sitting with the shuyukh, sitting with the teachers, keeping their company. This person is going to be humble because he knows the greatness of what it is that he's seeking. And he knows his place, where he is or where she is on the path. That no matter where you are, the reality is, as human beings, we only have limited capability. We only have limited intellectual capability. So you find that when you're around people of knowledge, they're always very, very low-key type of individuals. They're very humble. They walk with humility. They don't see themselves. Others may see them, who they are, but to themselves, they're just slaves of Allah. They're just doing their best that they can to worship their Creator. So he said that to this, Abu Hanifa, who was the one who's the most advanced scholar, he told his students to wear the turban, to wear the imama, and to wear big sleeves, to wear big akmam, to wear as a mark or a symbol or a sign of yourself as a student of knowledge. In other words, to wear good clothing, that people will honor you with. So when you're out in the souk or you're out in public, people see you and they honor you. They don't disrespect you. They don't put you in a category or don't put you in a box. So the turban is a very distinctive type of characteristic that when people see that, they see you as someone who, if they don't know, they're not going to disrespect you. They'll see you as a religious person. But for the Muslim, they see you as a student of knowledge. So the student of knowledge should wear the turban. It's an emphatic sunnah. Should wear good clothing. Abu Hanifa used to command his students to wear big sleeves, also as a mark of those who have knowledge. Okay, so that they won't be disrespected by the common person. And so the last line, he says, do this in order to that. He said, in order that knowledge, that the knowledge that you have and the people of knowledge, you won't be dishonored by what they wear when seen by general people. So this explains what we just said, that the student of knowledge, at the same time, by acting accordingly, he should dress accordingly. And with this he ends the chapter on this particular section. And so as a reminder for us, this is a very important chapter, that at the outset, the intention, the adab, the way that we behave along the path toward knowledge, that includes the way that we dress. It includes the way that we dress. All of this is part of our adab along the path of seeking knowledge. So take this as a reminder, and may Allah make us from among the people may Allah make us from among the people who obtain high levels of honor, and Allah raises among the people in levels. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.